Come to this evening of poetry reading by two eminent poets, Anand Thakur and Sri Surendran. This is our first program of the year for English book and April's poetry reading. Last year we organized about 130 poetry readings all over India. And today's event, this forum will be chaired by Professor eminent scholar, poet and writer. Professor Makarantaranjape has been teaching in Jawaharlal University, New Delhi since 1999. He read English in St. Stephen's College, and from where he got B honors in first class, and then he did masters and doctorate in University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. His recent books include Debating the Post-Condition in India, Critical Vernaculars, Unauthorized Modernities, Post-Colonial Contentions, Cultural Politics in Modern India, and The Death and Afterlife of Mahatma Gandhi. Of his 6 volumes of poems, Transit Passageria in Transito from University of Sao Paulo and Indo-Brazilian Book of Poems is his latest. Professor Makarantaranjape is currently a columnist for Swarajya, DNE and Mail Today. So it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Rabindra. It's wonderful to see you again after a long time. And thank you all for coming today on a Saturday, which is also a very auspicious day. Not only because it is Dr. Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar's birthday, as we all know, the father of our constitution, but also because it's Vaishak. Right? It's the New Year issue in Kerala and Bihu in Assam, in different parts of India, and of course in Bengal, Vaishakhi, and Punjab just yesterday, concluded yesterday. So wonderful way to begin the New Year and the Tamil New Year. How can I forget that? I always consider Tamil Nadu as my spiritual homeland. Though I'm a Maharashtrian and I live in Delhi, but Tamil Nadu is my spiritual homeland. And Raj Mohan ji and I have a connection, going back to Thiruvannamalai. Anyhow, I've now told you a secret. Maybe today is going to be an evening of secrets, because what is poetry but, should I say, the revelation of the heart secrets? You know? Sometimes directly, sometimes elliptically. But I'm not going to wax eloquent. I want to listen to the poets. We've got 2 outstanding writers here today. The senior one, of course, is C.P. Surendran on my right, who I've known for several years. And C.P. featured in a very exclusive club of poets which Penguin had started many years ago under the tutelage of Don Moraes. And some of the poets who came out of that, for example, Jeet Tai, there was a collection called Gemini, Vijay Nandisa, who unfortunately passed away, and C.P. So, great pedigree, and C.P. was an editor of DNA. He served at Times of India. So, very privileged to have you, C.P. And he's also turned a novelist. He's got an outstanding novel to his credit as well. We've all decided that we listen to Anandji first, Anand Thakur, and he's got these 2 volumes of poems which are right in front of me. He's got a selected volume of poems, 1992 to 2012, but he's also got this lovely book called 7 Deaths and 4 Scrolls. and I'm sure he'll read from here. And what struck me about this book is that it's got wonderful characters in it. Not all are wonderful. One is an assassin. But there's also a Buddhist monk, there is Holika, we talk about Holika Dahan. But it's also got a mysterious character which is, or who is, very linked with his real passion, which I'm going to tell you about. Since, as I said, it's the day to reveal secrets. And that is Tansen's son. Who has heard of Tansen's son? Hardly anybody. And apparently it was a difficult relationship. The son was neglected. And many of us have difficult relationships with our parents for whatever reason. So I hope we hear about that. But the deep connection with Tansen is also a connection with music. Because Anandji is a trained musician in Hindustani classical. And he's studied with Pandit Satyashil Deshpande. And he's a composer as well as a singer. So, Anandji, don't say I did not forewarn you, but we won't let you go without a bandish. So, I'm giving you some notice. शायद अंत में आप कुछ गा के हमें सुनाएंगे जिससे हमें कुछ अद्भुत आनंद भी मिलेगा जो आपके नाम का एक अंश है आनंद क्योंकि हम सब आनंद के ही तो पुजारी है जब हम साहित्य के दर्पण में अपने आप को पाते हैं तो पहले आनंद जी पढ़ेंगे और हमने ये सोचा है कि लगभग 2 राउंड्स होंगे कविता के शायद 11-11 मिनट के और फिर तो पहले आनंद पढ़ेंगे 11 मिनटों के लिए और फिर सीपी की पढ़ेंगे और हम फिर एक दूसरा राउंड भी कर सकते हैं और अंत में समय होगा तो मैं भी एक आध कविता प्रस्तुत करूंगा अगर आप लोगों की इजाजत हो Over to you, Anand.
Thank you, Bhavan ji, for a very generous introduction. Call me Anand ji. Is the mic on? Yeah. I'll start with one of the few poems I've written which I can remember. It just loosens me out of it. It's called Chandri Villa, and it's about my ancestral house in Bombay, which was sold for demolition some years ago. Chandri Villa. His name, my grandparents, deep in the banyan grove at Chandri Villa, a secret sense of loss prevails. And the very stillness of these trees carries me past an April long dead, newly strewn with banyan leaves. Thick roots dangle above my head, ancient knotted roots I cannot untangle, till I am a child once again, though against my will, the wide grove closing its arms as if to kill. My veins, so many banyan roots, twisted into one, and all their tangled knots come undone, till almost I see him, the plagued man I never will. Now, since we're into revealing secrets about the heart, I'm going to choose a poem that, for me, my second book begins with this poem, and for me it's very much about that, revealing the secret behind most of my poetry, which is, well, the poem says what it is. It's called Bitter Gourd, which of course is the English word for Karela. We don't call it bitter gourd at home, we call it Karela. But it has a lovely ring to it in English, bitter gourd.
You got the R, it's even more significant.
Yeah, it has those resonances. Bitter gourd. 16 years now, and I have looked too often into certain mirrors, searching for self-love, yet hoping to find reflected there, your eyes looking over my shoulder. And now that you are here, finally, I see you not by reflection, but eye to eye, looking back through your eyes across half my life, wondering what else you could have done back then, but teach me slowly to hate myself. You, who showed me so early in life how the seeds of bitterness are best sown in silence, best swallowed alone. Here, have some bitter gourd slices. They are all I've cooked this morning, as fate would have it, half knowing, as always, that you would come. And I have made them thin, the way you liked them, dry, brown, and crisp to the seed, stir-fried with just enough salt over a slow fire. Yes, Makaran was nice enough to introduce my 5th book of poems, which has 7 poems really in it. It's a sequence of 7 poems, each of which refers to a specific death. I sometimes see ghosts when I read about deaths in the newspapers, and one of the characters I read about was Kasar, the terrorist who was hanged. I'm going to read the little extract from the newspaper. The title of the poem is the newspaper headlines, which were "Puppet's Life Ends on String." The lone surviving gunman of 2611 was hanged at Pune's Yerawda jail at 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday. Asked for his last wish, the 25-year-old terrorist from Faridkot village in Pakistan's Punjab province said, "Ghar walon ko milna hai. I want to meet my family." The Times of India, November 7, 2012. Puppet's life ends on string. See, they recur, approach and recur beyond terror and grave. The low tin roofs and ambient wheat fields, the hills and goat-filled alleys of remembered infancy. And soon, but here they are already, filling their water pots, tending to their goats. Those I could not forgive for being so poor, so blind to my rage, for refusing to see themselves reflected in my hate. They cannot see me now, of course, capering through barbed wire and thin mud walls. But this is hardly strange. It was so much like this when I lived amongst them, only suddenly more acceptable now. What is strange is being unable to feel the cold they feel, the fireside warmth, as winter comes over us, here in Faridkot, village of my birth, visited once and blessed for all time, as my mother never forgot to mention at meals, by the Sufi, Baba Farid, mystic of the floating basket, whose rapt levitations I marveled at as a child, and whose spirit I spat upon when I turned 14. There was so little left by then in our lives to praise, and his talk of delight in poverty had come to seem like senseless rant. The little land we owned sold for so little, our torn pockets empty, our jackets threadbare, as we stared, half-starved, at the last full moon before Eid, with no goats left to fatten and slaughter, or barter for new clothes and sweets, no money for cooking oil or kerosene, then none for wheat, and then, to top it all, that hard, unoutstandable look in the eyes of a tribal girl, which could only mean no, never, not good enough, never will be. Baba Farid, whom I dismissed as a fake when I turned into a man, and whose verse the living still lift their arms to in the warmth of winter fires at Faridkot. I am glad he was with me before that final steeling of burnt nerves against all fear, terror of the torqued neck, trapdoor and noose. Your last wish, he said, will not be granted, but will surely be voiced. A single sentence that survives your death. I am glad it was this and nothing else. Let them come to me now. Listen, I say it again. Those I ran away from. Karwanu ko milna hai. And then we go over to see. Okay. ताजी कविता है दिल्ली की किताब के बताए. My grandfather used to collect stone antiques in the days when one still could do things like that 40 years ago, and you know, you could get them for affordable prices. And we still have this stone Saraswati at home. It's big, battered up, and all that. And this poem is an attempt to capture that image and the history around it. Standing stone Saraswati, 12th century, Deccan. Victim of a faith that will never understand her, defaced, mastectomized, her many arms mutilated, then left to lie at the bottom of a pond for centuries. She is now object who once was divine. Her face flattened featureless, her stone lute lost, her right leg a cleft, bare ridges of quarried rock where garlanded breasts once brazenly hung. No sign remains here now, upon the cratered waist and torso, or amidst these tides of bruised rock, round chunks of shoulder, shards of a bracelet, shreds of an elaborate girdle, to remind us that this indeed is she who once was revered with flowers and song. Now only the peacock at her feet survives intact, to tell us afresh of her erstwhile power, its form complete, its frame unharmed from crest to tail, its open beak and intricately detailed plumage, believed perhaps, unlike the lost features and breasts of the goddess herself, neither heathen nor offensive enough to merit the triumphant crusaders' tribal rage. The little claws and long tail, the proud feathered chest and slender upturned neck, no serious threat to the invader's abstract monolithic order, unworthy of his victorious descending axe.
Hi everybody. This one. Am I hearable in the back? Right. Thank you, Bhavan. Thank you, Sahitya Akademi. I must tell you that I've been writing for close to 25 years. And this is the first time I'm coming to Akademi. You say something about the Academy, you say something about me. So this book is called Available Light. That's because as we grow old, the
supply of nitrates. And there's a sequence in this book which is about 30 poems under the title David, Don't Be Sad, That Was a Dream. So that is part of this collection. And almost all those poems were sourced from a dream. It's actually about Jewish person who relieves this concentration camp experience, where you can be any place, anywhere, anytime. I'm not starting this book with that. I'm not starting the evening with that poem from David's sequence. I'm going to start with another poem called Installation. Today, I put up my house for sale, clearing all the furniture except the writing desk. They went up a truck, the 6-drawer dresser with mirror in excellent condition, staring me all the way until the corner. I drove around, just looking at things in the rain, sat on a bench in a park. I got back late, wet. I took my jeans off and placed it over the desk, legs hanging loose as if they were broken at knee. The hips collapsed to corsets, the belt snaking around the stomach, shaped like a giant pear, opening up at one end. The whole thing looked like a man waist down, spread-eagled, stone drunk, except that I was sitting in a corner, naked, watching him go to bed. What happens with my reading is that it becomes so monochromatic and people go to sleep. It's like a soporific kind of effect that people have at the end of each poem. So I do not expect people to, applaud or smile. Even sometimes when I'm reading really funny poems. Let me just go into something which is very strange after fashion. I've been, as Makran said, a bit of a Bombay boy or a Bombay old man, whichever way you choose. And then I came to Delhi, and after a break I went back to Bombay to edit a newspaper. And Bombay seemed so very different to me at that time. So, unlike Delhi, Bombay is very crowded. And the only time you actually get to see the road or the sea is around 4 in the morning. This word is called cowboy. And this is about Bombay. These roads are good now, clean, deserted, fit to walk or stage a duel. A lone Victoria, slow, as if the horse was drawing the whole city after it, is only traffic. The vans on Marine Drive burn like candles to the blind. The footpath is salted with spray. The parapet taciturn, but for a couple split by a wedge of sea. Gazing at Arabia, where the sands must shift. In a clock full of 4 a.m.s, this would be the city to live in and write a song. Perhaps end an affair. If only, and we go bleeding, you could trust a horse to take you home. So this, and I tend to use, I said, I tend to write in sequences and cycles. I also tend to use once in a while 4-letter words. But it is my ardent belief that all of you are really over 18. And that in case I tend to shock your morality and your moral sensibility, as it were, I beg forgiveness in advance. This is called absolute. When will you let her go? If I bring the cash in hand, will you let her go? If I nail you my ear, will you let her go?
Oh.
If I stared at the sun till it turned to coal, will you let her go? If I brought my 2 rooms in a box, will you let her go? If I sold all my books for a little gold, will you let her go? If I sent my son, who smiles when it rains, will you let her go? If I rip my head and shred it like bread, will you let her go? Tell me, what will it take to let her go? Tell me why you won't let her go. Tell me whoever you are, you fucking so and so.
Have I got a few minutes more?
Yeah, I forgot that. Okay, let me kind of try to, inflict upon you wakefulness. Right? All right. This one is called Prophecy. It's a very small one. It's not a haiku poem. It's called Prophecy. Memories, she contended, are the brick and mortar of ruins. And that's how the evening ended. Well, one more haiku. People love haiku, I don't know why. Anytime you write 3 lines, it's haiku.
That one had 4 lines.
4 lines. No, sorry, I got that wrong. Okay, so I'm going to read you a poem from David, Don't Be Sad, That Is a Dream. Now, I mentioned that this poem, this sequence was sourced from a dream about this Jewish guy. And so a lot of this imagery is context specific to a particular period in, say, 40s and 50s of last century. And this entire, actually this sequence began as a kind of a tribute, because I am very much, not admire, I understand, identify myself a lot with Paul Celan. He's a terrific poet. I mean, he's a guy who, this strange life, because he died writing, but he committed suicide. First he lost his village, first he lost his home, then he lost his village, he lost his father and mother to the Nazis. Then he came back and lost his country. He lost his Yiddish language almost. And finally, of course, he committed suicide, he lost himself. So it's a whole story of losses. So I began with that image in my mind, and then developed into about 38 poems. So this is about that. This is called Witness. Grow white in the pit of skulls, hair far removed from head. Walls are alive. They draw features on those who have gone. Penitent older, beech and pine, confess snow, red as wine. The bare feet march and bow in step with fate's crooked line, equal the dreams of the dead. We were many, and the time was short. Tread your way through grass, staring out of eyes, lifting their head long after gales of eyeballs pass. And then I'm going to read one more poem from that, which is equally recondite. but I may be able to explain a couple of lines here and there. I am going to spare you Crystal Night, which is a crystal night, the night of the crystals in the 1930s, when a lot of heads and windows broke because of Hitler's advancing nationalist and other friends. This is called Once Upon a Time. Moon forged in the remote fog of future. The sea splutters bodies lower like lanterns. The flags are forgotten. Those barks too, more than a language, a manner of laughing almost. In silence we plumb our own depths, down to starlit bottoms, surprised as night bursts by light. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, CP. If you know CP's work, it requires repeated reading, and a lot of the meaning is below the surface. In fact, it's interesting how we have two styles of poetry, in fact, you know. A kind of expressionism, if I may use that word, that you see in Anand's poetry, and a certain kind of, should I say, recondite reticence in CP. So I'm going to provide a transition and an isthmus, if you like, between the two poets. A short, a bridge, so we've also, I mean, both poets have spoken very eloquently about loss. And I think a lot of modern poetry, even postmodern poetry, is about loss. And I've been thinking the last about 20, 30 years now about not just loss but recovery. So this is a kind of prose piece which I used to punctuate a collection, and the collection is something in the making. So it's a little bit about the past, and the poem I'm going to end with is really about the future. Anyway, like a shell on excuse me. Just get the sip of water. Is it placed in water? I wish, but we're in the Sahitya Academy. You should approach it. We don't want too many installations in the Sahitya Academy. They're better at the Lalit Kala. Okay, I'll try again. Like a shell not on a beach, but carried far inland on a dried riverbed. The river changed course 1,000 years ago, then lost itself in the desert wastes. Still, how wide its banks, how deep the gorge where it had cut itself through rock and soil. Now nothing more than sandy desolation, an immense scar on the face of earth, seen even in satellite images, a wound marked on a land barged for hundreds of miles. Yet these fossil traces, powdery bones of creatures once pulsating with life. Little shells bleached white, drying in the harsh sun, brittle and crumbling to powdery dust at the slightest touch. Still, once in a while, a rare, almost perfect shell. Sir, can we have your attention, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. Still, once in a while, a rare, almost perfect shell, so fragile, so singular, so pure. Pick it up and hold it to your ear. The echo of water, though faint and distant, not entirely lost. There was a river here once. It fertilized the fields, fed the land, it flowed down to the sea. We could never return to the womb of our birth mother, from where we were pushed out into the cruel world. Our mother herself turning against us, muttering, wrong baby, if not wrong crib. But to a cosmic mother's womb, which birthed the stars and galaxies, our return is fated. The empty shell with its echo of water sings, rain, rain. Perhaps it will rain. Perhaps the river will flow again. And if there's a river, there must be the ocean. Like the waters primal from which life emerged, which is our home. Like a curse, like a blessing. Thank you.
Bhavan mentioned Holika Dahan. I think something about the atmosphere of the Sahitya Academy makes me want to return to something that's a very traditional theme, like Holi. There are two poems here. One is set on Mahashivratri and the other on Holi. There's a very dark side to the festival of Holi, isn't it? Am I audible now? Yeah. There's a very dark side to the festival of Holi. For all its color and brightness, there's a witch burning there. You know? There's the fact that this woman has to be burned for us to celebrate. So, this poem's called Holika. It's in two parts. Holika, Holi, March 24th, 2016. 1. Quintessence of all in woman best assigned to flame, demoness, witch, sorceress to most, yet martyr, saint, and devotee to some. I return with spring as in the year before, to suffer amongst the living yet another immolation. See, how soon amidst the songs and sudden glooms of this season, it grows into a cause for dance and merriment, the reenactment of my death. Observe how relieved they appear to be rid of me again, these pious throngs, now laved by the febrile ritual of my passing, the annual fire purge before the morning's festivities. I return for reasons rarely known to the living, best kept from them till they are ready to receive them, for only the living can afford to question the ways of God, and it is not for the dead to wonder why we were chosen to play the parts we played. No longer my part to question this ecstatic survival of sons, this burning of women, or why my death each year must remain for so many a cause for joy, a great reason for song in the land I return to. 2. Legend at times has attempted to be kind to me, suggesting I succumbed to the flames of my own free will to keep the young prince from harm. That is not what happened, of course. I connived with the king for my own safety and out of fear of pain, and it was God, as always, God, interfering, irrefutable, who sent the gust that blew the shawl from my shoulders, throwing my body to the fire, protecting the boy. I have no wish to be considered a saint, though there are those on earth who prefer to believe my tale a tale of sacrifice. There remains a place reserved for women like us in the realms of the dead. a place for burnt women who died so that the circle could be complete. Hurt nature healed, a great balance restored. God, the human lion who clawed at my brother's guts and tore them apart, has in his mercy ensured us this, that our part in the tales of men, though invariably misremembered, may never be forgotten. Now, as the heart of the north grows light, surrendering itself to color, and the infinitesimal hues of hemp play out their games in the mind of man, recall our torched bones. All you who still breathe, revering fire, who dance and drench yourselves and lift your notes in jubilation at my death, keep at heart the black heap I was born to burn down to, as you spray one another with brief jets of vermilion. Revere the fire at the core of your dancing, your funeral pyre. Something a little lighter, I think. No, come on. Everything can't be that dark. Yes. This is in the form of villanelle with alternating chorus lines, a form that was used a lot by poets in the 1930s and derives from a French song form. I was attracted to the form as a musician. I wrote a lot in my 20s. I wrote several villanelles. This one's called Duet on the Death of a Cat, and it has a little epigraph, which I will read. Two monks were fighting over a cat. The master appeared, drew his long sword, and sliced the cat into two halves. Here, he said, is your cat, and here is yours. The words of the koan must not be interpreted, only received. Ritesh Reddy, 2nd degree black belt, private lesson. Duet on the Death of a Cat. We've left here before, but this time we're through. The master's a hustler, a monster, a fake. And he sliced our pretty little cat in two. Surrender's our motto, but this simply won't do. Have we nothing but a pair of selves at stake? We've been here before, but this time we're through. Who rends this mesh, ends this myth of me and you? The long tail reaches back for the mouth of its snake, and the master has sliced our cat in two. No sign to decipher, no vision, no clue. If death is not real, whom does death unmake? We've been through this before, but this time we're through. Someone could tell us what this means, but who? Who puts us to sleep? Who shakes us awake? The master has sliced our cat in two. Time for this ship to abandon its crew. But we're thinking again. The ancient mistake. We've left here before, but this time we're through. The master has sliced our cat in two. One quick one and then over to see. Okay, but I don't have too many happy poems. I mean, a happy poem about death. Okay, I have. Since I read the holy poem, let me read the Mahashivratri poem. It's a little long. But okay. It's called Kamdev Muses Upon the Death of the Body. Now, I have seven poems on death, and you know the theme got so morose, I had to have a lighter moment. So, like, what is death for a Vedic sex god who gets reduced to a heap of ashes by Shiva's third eye? Yeah. What does that mean? Death is just a game for him. Kamdev muses upon the death of the body. It has a little Sanskrit epigraph which goes, Shadaksharam idam stotram yaha patecchiva sannithau shivalokam avapnoti shivena saha modate. Here's Kamdev addressing the season of Basanta. In hopefully iambic English. Who amongst the mountain-minded, the glacial seers, the serpent-couched and lotus-seated, who amongst the all-fathering mentors, the many-headed ones, wielders of strange weapons, or that great host of singers in celestial halls, commissioned forever to praise their presence? Who amongst the great guardians of order, the planet masters, the lords of the 8 directions, or the sages, kings, and mortal prophets of earth? Who amongst the gods can sing more truly than I the song flesh sings? Or relate more clearly the tale of the soul's unyielding survival? None more truly than I, Vasanta, primeval accomplice, dearest of seasons. None surely amongst you, my siblings in the skies. For I am Kamdev, spirit of desire, survivor of fire, who has laughed and danced in the wake of the body's death. O Kamdev am I, the fire in your loins that you may not fly. No shape have I, though the flesh is my home. Your many arms are my minions, your eyes my concubines, as I quiver at the tip of your prurient tongues. O Kamdev am I, though the Lord of the third eye, for his own hidden purposes, assigns me to perpetual invisibility. Be bold, season, confidant and companion, ancient yet brief. Bring out your blossoms, be the body I cannot be. Wear all the colors I am not permitted to wear. The warblers you summon, I teach them flight. The hues you sport are my most fervent votaries. And not a leaf, not a wing, not a limb, not a tail persists without my assistance. No, Vasanta, not a blossom can bloom where I choose not to be, which, as you know, is almost nowhere, except where the master casts his third eye. Ah, I shall not fear him, Vasanta, not tonight, as on any other, for night and I are ancient connivers, and in the realms of the flesh I have nothing to lose. Tonight, as on any other, I shall crawl through the veins of beast and man, proclaiming triumph or wrecking hearts doomed to wreckage. Oh, I shall sail upon churning oceans, cold seas of sweetened milk and hemp, to witness the drowning of terrestrial lovers, the success of my ploys in the courtyards of shrines. And I will have the lovers of this world begging Shiva for mercy, for I am Kamdev, spirit of desire, survivor of fire. O Kamdev am I, the fire in your veins that does not die. The wise are deluded when they think I sleep, for their loins are my vassals, their hands my cupbearers, they who now gather, Vasanta, these fervent multitudes, furtively hearkening to my cry, though none may ever see me, for no shape have I, Vasanta, O Kamdev am I.
Thank you so much, Bhavan. One of the beautiful things about our myths, but they're not myths really, is that there's so many interpretations, you know. I was in Guwahati and somebody said you must go to this wonderful temple called Umananda. And I went there, and apparently it's right in the middle of the Brahmaputra, formed by the ashes of Kamadeva. And that is the temple in which, or that is the hill of ash on which Shiva and Parvati came together on Mahashivratri. And it really made me think very deeply about, how the highest love is actually built on the heap of the ashes of a certain kind of carnality. But I want to say something, Anand, that, Rati pleads with Shiva that, listen, don't kill my husband. So Shiva revives Kamadeva and he becomes Ananga. He's bodiless, but he's everywhere. And don't forget that when you say Kamadeva, here is Kameshwara on the other side. So it's a wonderful story, really. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Okay, I'll come back to my sort of thing. Right? No relief. The green people, yes. Or the green people, which are very good. My father was a writer in Malayalam, and he died of Alzheimer's 10 years ago, and I actually saw the language by which he lived actually slipping through his fingers. So I wrote, this was in 2006, I wrote about, I think, 31 poems on that. It's called Catafalque. So I'm bringing 2 poems from that. It is English. Gastronomy. We ripen through the rain, carrion for the crow. The night wedged between wings, bleak claw. What it spits out in red surfeit is what you saw with your eyes, felt in your heart. The white of snow, leaves lit like candles long after the sun has set. Bow down to the bird, his hunger is all God. The ache at parting, God from crowd is all man, the father or son bereft. So another poem which is not so green, but it's again on my father's death. It's called Who Shifts the Stars? So June is here again. June is when it rains in Kerala. Who shifts the stars? So June is here again. Moist light, virginal breath, and petal eyes wide in wonder. She is tugging at the dam. The bridge you walked on closes underwater, and the fish now swim over the road. The leaves, lush with rain, are lovely beyond reason. Burn at the heart like fire. Redden the embers with your dying breath. Last the beauty of this sodden season. I can't but help reading this one to you. This again, because my father was actually kind of going as he watched it. So here is this one. It's a 3-line thing, not that high. It's called Guest. And the days pass into weeks, and months into years, and up the winding stairs approach footfalls, growing loud like heartbeats in our ears. I'm talking about death there. A very private poem between you and your loved and the soul not loved ones. It's called Two. You shift in bed next to me. Your voice just right for weather reports light. These are the words you like. Dark, decent, stairs, nude, land, death, and you believe this is what your life is. A few words, but perhaps not in that order. Everything is richer than you think. I believe you are right. Each life prints its dictionary. Some a thesaurus of just one word. What's yours? I keep my peace, aware of the sheath of space between us, just right for a soul to hide and worry why it takes just two people for such quiet. I'm going to read a less grim poem. And that is a lot of adjustment I have to make with myself to kind of let you in on that short spree of relative unsadness. Actually not. Actually not, because I'm going to, the poem which has just kind of come under my thumb is even grimmer one. And it comes from the sequence called David Only Sat as a Dream. This one is called Juke, Box and Collaba. Collaba, you know, jukebox, you know. And there's a particular song which I'm mentioning here. It's called Mama Son Tanto Felice. It actually means, Mother, your son is very happy. This used to be the music the Nazis used to play when they would ask the prisoners to kill and bury their own, fellow prisoners, friends. Jukebox and Collaba. Hammer this day into your heart. Step out into the unearthly place, milling with unjustified absences, spinning children worn to the skin around the sun. Make pain anew like Christ. They press their lips a scar, stamped on the glass of stranded cars. The junkies sleepwalk. The collapsed bridges in pools of piss. The gents in their suits, empty like tins in the gentle rain. The cattle with their painted horns accuse you from the back of a truck. Near Café Montiga, they let the tail go down, and you wondered if the sky was drunk. Listen as if drawn to a voice. They are playing Mama Son Tanto Felice. Time to dance on the ashes. Your steps are slow. Your eyes are sweet. You grind your friends underfoot. I know. I know exactly what you feel. Okay, maybe one more poem, and then we open it to Anand and you. Okay, let me read you actually a very hopeful poem. Yes.
The suitcase poem.
Suitcase poem, yes. But that, okay. This one was more hopeful, but anyway. It's called Couple. As I said some time ago, I used to shuttle between cities, especially Delhi and Bombay a while. I was doing this paper bit. And so I used to almost live out of a suitcase. And it's called Couple. That also was a sequence of about 7 or 8 poems. I'm very good with sequences. Couple. At last she puts in a shy appearance at the far end of the belt, having made sure the young, good-looking ones have left. An old, bulging thing, last to leave a plane, waiting in places from where people hurry to exit. For an aging mate equally out of shape, the pocket flaps are bound to a thread. The zippers are halfway down. The mouth gapes like a sack undone. One strap lags, an arm that suffered a stroke. The wheels drag. Almost everything is more than she can contain. I watch my bag go past me thrice before I take grip of her by the belly, and we resume life, man and wife.
Well, friends, the evening is lengthening. The shadows are lengthening, but I was going to say, luckily, we have more available light. It's April. It's a new year. But we started. Well, it's already running out. It's starting. But we started 10 minutes late. Raghunaji said we should take about an hour. So we've come more or less to the end of the evening. I can present the poem at the end, and then we can. And if anybody, let's do this and then maybe a song to close the evening. I don't know. You can't do this to an artist. You can't just, you have to move them and we'll have to call it. That's it. Process. We will have to wait and hear him another day perhaps. So as I said, YouTube? That's a quickie. But no, we want a live performance. We can do that another time. But as I was saying, poetry is about secrets and how we reveal them. And I'm contemplating, this sequence of poems. It's like a dialogue between a nayak and a nayika, as a kind of sawal jawab, going back to an older format. And in all of these exchanges, there's always a moment that you may call the leap of faith. And so the Nayika says to the Nayak, "You unfurled yourself, did you? Or didn't you?" And then he replies, the unfurling, like a flag emblazoned with Amour's emblem, Ya Mehboob, the insignia of destiny's child, an unknown boy adopted to be the king of a principality and the richest man in the world. Or a tattered and worn out fabric, too meager even to cover the nakedness of the grotesque dwarf clown in that sad novel. No better than just a red rag called happiness. Or more clothes, mere clothes, flapping in the wind, wrung out, clipped on a line behind the grill, on the balcony of an 8th floor suburban flat, walls already grimy with soot and diesel fumes, paint puffed up in places, blotchy, ghastly, diseased by the yearly onslaught called the monsoon. Like the fading smoke from a hilly hearth, curling up from the crude chimney, disappearing into the blue sky beyond, suddenly to become part of a cloud, lazily drifting away. Like a coiled spring tightly wrought, tense, waiting for its release. Or like some prayer rugs, wound up and neatly stowed away in a corner, to be spread out for prayers when the muezzin calls. Or like Cleopatra, smuggling herself into Antony's bedroom, the most beautiful woman in the world, suddenly revealed to the gaping Roman, dressed only in a string of pearls. Unfurled, as if already so involved in you, as the master meant, God involved in matter, waiting to evolve out of it. I beseech you, Prakriti herself, to ignite the spark of consciousness, dumbly striving in your darkest womb from the beginning of time. A flag, a rag, a rug, a wisp of smoke, my soul, a pennant, a standard, an ensign, a kite, multicolored, large, dancing in the breeze, a quiver as of the last unraveling spindle of twine, words to keep pace with its flight, unfurled, or hurled down the precipice, a stationary boulder now in motion, cracking, breaking rock, heaving down, hurtling to its certain disintegration. A storm, a landslide, a hurricane, hurled, unfurled, my soul, an albatross, an eagle, a bird in flight, or a giant swan seeking delight. My soul, once curled up like a fetus, afraid, defensive, now unfurled, yellow ribbon shining in the sun, suddenly let down high from the rooftop, first trailing in the wind, now caught in the treetops, still unsure where it might find its final repose or respite. My soul, a banner snagged in brambles, a torn political poster, fluttering scraps of discarded paper, swirling tiny tornadoes, a tattered fishnet, a sheer stocking, wrinkled, fluttering uncertainly. My soul, once mine, but now unfurled, flailing like a gasping fish prodded out of water, floating like a silk cotton pod, a drifting helium balloon, let loose, a plastic bag on a refuse pile. My soul, once exposed, wasted, unfurled, or no longer orphaned, but claimed at last by you. Thank you. So friends, I'm going to take liberty with my privilege as the chair and invite anybody in this audience who feels moved by the spirit of the muse, dark or hopeful as the case might be, to offer a poem to us. Go ahead, anybody who wishes to. Yes sir, please. किसी भी भाषा में आप पढ़ सकते हैं, but please make it short. हाँ जी, वही पढ़ेगा। छोटी सी पढ़िए। हाइकू, बहुत बढ़िया है। कुछ अपना परिचय दीजिएगा।
Yes, sir. I'm Dr. B.K. Tiwari. Academician staying in New Delhi and associated with this Sahitya Academy. Sir, I have to say to you that to meet you personally.
You can only speak in verse, no prose. सिर्फ कविता में आप संबोधन कर सकते हैं।
Sir, this is a poem dedicated to Lord Krishna, and the poem starts: to bow before the Gurus is the best of all rituals, as the Brahmins acclaim. O my prophet divine, the sacred most, the benign, advocate of divinity art thou, creator of divine poetry art ye, creator of divine poetry art ye, of truth, whatever name thy have, of truth, whatever name thy have, with what ye state, sermon in the Gita, with what ye state, human heart reaches to a height and is filled with a spiritual bliss. With what ye state, the human heart reaches to a height and is filled with a spiritual bliss. Where? A land that's so high, so benign, so eternal, so divine. I salute thee, I salute thee on thy feet, I prostrate thee. This is the...
Mr. Tiwari, I want to ask you a question on this point.
Sir.
Do you mind? Sir, please go ahead, but please be kind.
Yeah, I just want to ask you, what is the new thing which you are trying to say in this poem one? And why do you want to use this ancient addressal, guy?
Victorian language.
Very Victorian, but why? How does it help the case? I just want to ask you to know this. You don't have to tell me now.
Actually, I used...
I'm sorry, you can tell him over tea. Now, one last poem by somebody who has it by heart. Is there anybody? No reading. No reading.
उसके सिर का दर्द मुझे क्या मालूम? उसके सिर का दर्द मुझे क्या मालूम? मेरे दिल का दर्द मुझे क्या मालूम? बात बस इतनी है मेरे दोस्त कि समझो उसे नहीं मालूम मुझे।
Yes, sir, please. Yes, sir. Please put on the mic, sir. And I'm glad you have them by heart. फूल की पत्ती से हीरे का जिगर कट सकता है। वाह, कुछ चाहिए। वाह वाह वाह।
शायद फूल उल्टा, शायद फूल अवनत खिले, अक्षर को जन्नत मिले, ये सौदा ईश्वर से पता है न पट सकता।
वाह 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 वाह।
अक्षरों में तीन गुण होते हैं, लिमिट लिमिट। I worked here in this Akademi for 37 years. 37 years. At the age of 19, I joined this Akademi, interviewed by Dr. Jawaharlal Nehru himself and Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. 19 years. Pakistan, after Pakistan के बाद हम यहाँ आ रहे, तो there was a deputy.
Sir, this poem.
Sorry. अफसरों में तीन गुण होते हैं। पहला ये कि वो कुर्सी पर सोते हैं, दूसरा है रोक देना, सुई को चोक देना, तीसरा झूठ बोलकर भी होते हैं। अफसरों में तीन।
वाह 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 वाह।
चलिए, अब समाप्त होने का समय आया है।
I can try. I want to try.
We have to want. Which one? Only one person.
I want only one minute, 2 minutes.
No, we have to decide who wants that. That's the last rule.
Okay, you start.
And up one to you.
Myself. My name Hira Singh Rawat. I have written near about 4 lines about all mine. Professionally, I am advocate. Where thou art, there is everything. Where thou art, there is nothing. The meaning of mine, thou means the God. Where is God, there is everything. Where God is not present, there is nothing. According to me, all of us are one, and God is one. Thank you.
Thank you. On that note of oneness, please.
One person I would like to thank is Mr. K.T. Darwala, who unfortunately could not be here. Those who have corresponded with K.T., those spiriters, he wrote a mail, I shall be grateful if you give opportunity to Anand Kapoor and C.P. Surendran, two talented persons. Yours. Nothing was there. So then I called him and I saw the date and everything and I said, sir, it is very tough that day. One is a Saturday and it's a gazetted holiday and it's Ambedkar Jayanti. So we are having a very long program from morning to evening. So, no, sir, what is your problem? I said, we may not get audience, sir. And I mean, those who have been here, they will be known, they would have known by now. So 100 people were there from morning to evening. So this hall was full of people standing and listening to the lectures. So then I said, sir, can we have it in some other day? No, let there be only 5 people. 5 plus 2, 7. We can just read poems and listen to each other. That's enough. I just want them to be in Sahitya. Actually, more than 5 people are here. Thank you all of us for coming, making it here. And Professor Makran, he was in Jaipur. For this, he had to take flight and come. Thank you very much for being here. And very kind of you. And he agreed at the last minute to be here and to chair this session. And he very aptly he concluded with the dialogue between Nayak and Nayaki, and he referred to Umananda. Actually, not only the highest love, that also gave highest wisdom. Agama, Lord Shiva instructing Parvati, that called Agama. So the Agama which came out of that place is Devi Kalodra. CP loved that because that one Agama is only 12 pages, but religious people hate it. Those who want to know, I mean, he said these are secrets, so these are secrets, so those who want to know why, so they will, all of you can read and find out. So thank you very much. It has been a lovely evening and a wonderful spot for this New Year. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.